Salut, bonjour, bonsoir, bonjour. I want to welcome you back. Je vous souhaite bienvenue faire un compte dans cette chaîne. Là, généralement, on parle de la langue française, du perspective anglaise. C'est surtout pour les anglophones, mais tout le monde peut profiter de toutes les informations qui se trouvent dans cette chaîne. This is the session we devoted to French language studies from the Anglophone perspective, and whatever category you fall into, you actually have a lot to learn. For this video, we are looking at something very, very tricky and very interesting. It's something you must know if you are going to be very good in the French language. Without it, definitely are going to be struggling for quite a lot of time. So, having said that, we looked at les voyelles en français. On a déjà parlé de 12 voyelles. On a vu ces voyelles les a divisés en deux parties, ou look divided into two different parts. Et premièrement, on a parlé généralement des voyelles aura simples, simple oral vowels, et puis voyelles aura aura complexe, bien, oui, aura complexe, composé précisément. Ça veut dire des compound oral vowels. Mais pour ce vidéo, l'emphase est sur ce qu'on appelle les voyelles nasales. Now, vowels are produced without inhibitions in our speech, without blockages in the air. Oral vowels go through the buccal cavity, through the mouth. And I've done justice to the oral vowels. But the nasal vowels, we make use of the mouth and the nasal cavity. C'est-à-dire, l'air passe par la bouche et puis par la gorge en même temps pour réaliser cela. Notre livre d'études est surtout la grammaire progressive. I'm making reference to it because that's what we're using in this particular video and series, grammaire progressive, un niveau intermédiaire who are dealing with. Now, nous allons commencer avec la définition de voyelle. What is nasal vowels? Let's look at that definition first of all because we have a lot to deal with, and then we run straight into it. Now, here you have it, voyelle nasale. Les voyelles nasales, nasal vowels in French, les voyelles nasales en français. Les voyelles nasales sont des sons pour lesquelles elles passent par la bouche et par le nez. Elles goes through the mouth and the nursery. Il y en a quatre. There are four of them in French. Look at the four. The four of them we have in French. I will read the examples here. You have brun, brun, we have brun, we have blanc, we have blanc. So we're going to see each of them. We're going to listen to the recordings to ensure that we get mastery of what they are. So with that in mind, understand that we have these vowels and they change. Some of them are very close to the oral vowels. Ils sont plus proches du voyelle oral. And because they are very close to the oral vowels, we will look at them in that light as well. And different forms, we're going to also compare them with the oral vowels. Now, with that said, let's go to the first one. We have two phonemes here. We have this e. We have this as un. E, un. Now, for e, we dealt with that in one of our last videos on oral vowels. We said it's the type E. When there's some grave and the rest, we dealt with all those. Now, I deal with un. This is nasal. You can produce e by closing your nostril. You say e. But I cannot say never, it will not go. I must have the air pass through my nose and my mouth. Let's read the examples we have here. Un rien me fait chanter, un rien me fait danser, un rien me fait trouver belle la vie, un rien me fait plaisir. Un rien me fait plaisir. So this is an aspect you want to take note of. Un rien me fait plaisir. Now, having said this, and look at these examples we have read now, we want to delve straight into the two consonants. But before then, I'm going to be playing the audio definitely so that you hear the sound articulated by the native speakers. And that will be one of our recordings we're going to be using here. Not other than, okay, chapter 12. Let's deal with it now. I think around two something. Let's look at pick the recording and see how far we'll go with it. So, in a nutshell, what we are trying to say is that these recordings have very not just important alone, but you must master that. So, let's look at 238 and see how it is captured, the sound. Let's take it now. So we're looking at these two phonemes, these two sounds. How they are captured.
Son 24.
Okay?
Les, l'un.
L'un. So you see, we have les, et, un. Les, l'un. Before we continue with the recording, let's look at how they are described. We have described a before now, so we're not touching that again. Let's come to the un. Les passe par la bouche et le nez. That means it is nasal. So c'est voyez nasal. Bouche est presque fermée. C'est écarté. It's also the lips also spread. So those are the criteria. Now, what are the combination of letters? What are the graphy? What give you the sound? That is what we want to touch very briefly now. For the air, we've touched that earlier in our past video. You can go back and look at that or just look at it on the screen. But let's explain more. We have IN, IM, YN, YM, EIN, EIM, AIN, AIM, REN, YEN, E as something UEN, then EN in peculiar cases, and then UN for some Parisian regional dialects. Let's look at the example. We have van, timbre, syndicat, sympathie, plein, rein, main, fin, mien, moyen, European, examen, lundi. So these are examples. These graphy, these combinations give you this particular Take note of the IN, IM, YN, YM, AIN, EIN, EIM, EIM. They are very, very vital. So that is what helps us realize them. Now let's listen to the recording and see how these phonemes are articulated in the sentences. We'll take number one here, and I will come to, of course, number three, and then we'll also move to number four, and then we'll also touch peradventure, precisely number five. So we have quite a lot of recordings to deal with. We are taking maximum or minimum of four because these are tricky. We must master them. In our previous video, we just took two for each of the sounds. So let's take the first one now.
Exercice 4. Rond 24. Les, l'un. Exercice 1. 1.
C'est très simple.
C'est très simple. C'est très simple.
C'est très mince.
C'est très mince. So you see it in simple and mince.
C'est très plein.
C'est très plein. Un, in plein.
4.
C'est très loin.
C'est très loin. So from the example we've seen so far, we are seeing simple, we are seeing mince, we are seeing plein, we are seeing loin. So these are where you have the sound captured. You see the endings. IM, IN, EIN, IN again. So this is how you capture it. So it's important to understand this graphy, and when you try to pronounce in French, please do well pronounce. When you're transcribing as a student in school studying French, please apply this knowledge. Let's look at this other one, number three, and let's see how far we can go with that. Number three, let's have it.
Exercice 3. 1.
Il mettait 5 heures. Il mettait 5 minutes. Il en mettait 5.
You see it in 5, 5 minutes, 5.
2.
Okay.
Il mettait 20 heures. Il mettait 20 minutes. Il en mettait 20.
So we're dealing with two sounds, and un. Mette gives you the AI before the T. Cinq, we have it there. Mette, cinq. un, un. Please note them. Those graphi are very important. It's very vital you master them because you are definitely going to be needing them all through. We'll continue now with the next recording. Let's look at number 4. Now we're coming to calculation. For the calculation, let's deal with that.
Exercice 4. 1,
5 plus 15 égale 20.
5 plus 15 égale 20.
20 plus 5 égale 25.
20 plus 5 égale 25.
3,
20 moins 5 égale 15.
20 moins 5 égale 15.
4,
20 moins 15 égale 5.
20 moins 15 égale 5.
5,
5 fois 5 égale 25.
5 fois 5 égale 25.
6,
25 divisé par 5 égale 5.
25 divided by 5 égale 5. So from the calculation we have seen so far, this is calculus, even mathematics, arithmetic. You see 5, 15, 20, you see 25, that 1 is well captured there. Let's take the next recording now, which is number 5. Répétez, dites bien la liaison puis l'enchaînement vocalique entre les noms de l'adjectif. For the of us who have studied about liaison, you will see liaison in between here and enchaînement vocalique. But the emphasis on the phoneme, un, un. Let's see how it is captured in this particular series. Let's have the recording.
Exercice 5. 1,
c'est un citoyen indigné.
2,
C'est un politicien indépendant.
3,
C'est un voisin indélicat.
4,
C'est un riverain indifférent.
Now, in this four sentences, we have, or the first sentence, we have, c'est un citoyen indigné. Citoyen, indigné. C'est un politicien indépendant. Politicien, sien, indépendant. C'est un voisin indélicat. You see the un there. So these are proof and ways for you to master. You can go over it over and over again, listen to the pronunciation and just oppose it to what you have in front of you on the screen. And trust me, you'll be able to pronounce those phonemes very, very well. So we have seen the very first nasal phoneme. And having seen the first nasal phoneme, we'll find out that we have we have an. Though they look alike, but they are not the same thing, definitely. So that was what we have actually established in the course of this interaction. We're going to be going now to the next nasal phoneme, which you must know as well. This one is very close to the R you have. So let's have this one now and take the recording that goes with it because it's important we do that as well. So we're coming to the next thing. Let's have it. I want you to just listen before okay, let me just share the screen now. Then we listen to it together and I give the explanations and then we'll continue with more examples with the recording. So let's have the recording now.
Leçon 25. Plat, plan.
Leçon 25,
Exercice
plat,
1.
plan. Now you see we have plat, which is for A. We have plan, un. We have un. We have un. So this is the phoneme A, un. Plat, this is plat, this is plan. So let's take note of them. That's how the sound is articulated. Let me read the sentence here. We have les arbres parlent arbre. Comme les enfants parlent enfant. Now, I've dealt with R in our previous video, so we're leaving that now. Let's come to the on. Now, how do you realize this on in French? What are the combination of letters? For a start, the air passes through the mouth and the nose. That's why it's nasal. Whereas for this one, the air passes only through the mouth. That's why it is oral. Now, for this one, is the tongue is at the back. It's produced at the back of the tongue, at the head of the lung. Now, the lip is also spread and it's rounded. Is rounded, not spread, rather the lip is rounded, and it's also an open vowel. So we can say nasal, we can say arrondi, we can say ouverte. These are the criteria of this particular phoneme. So take note of this. Now, the one we call a voyelle posterior, I've explained this in one of our past videos. This voyelle posterior, this particular it has been swallowed up by this a lot, this So that is one thing you should know is posterior sound in that context. So this is actually a posterior sound, posterior sound as well. How is it realized? We have seen for R with the Y, we've done with that. This on, E-N, E-N, A-N, A-N, A-E-N, A-O-N, at times I-E-N, names of nouns and adjectives. Example, we have vent, we have membre, we have son, we have chambre, we have quand, we have l'un, we have client, we have patient. So you see these examples, all of them attest to the fact that E-N, A-M, A-M, E-N, and AEN, are the graphy that help you to realize this particular phoneme. We are going to take some more examples now. Let's have the first one. Let's have the first example, and we can now build on it. So we'll take the first example here, number one. So we're going to take number one here. We'll take number two as well, and then we'll come and then I will read lecture for us to kind of master what we have done so far. So let's have the first recording and let's take it together now.
Là, non.
Okay, that's the sound.
Exercice 1.
Okay.
Exemple. Va dans la chambre.
Va dans la chambre.
Ça. Va dans sa chambre.
Va dans sa chambre. Va dans sa chambre.
2.
Ta. Va dans ta chambre.
Va dans ta chambre.
3.
Ma.
Va.
Va dans ma chambre.
Va dans ma chambre. From the recording we have so far, what we did here was also play with the determiner. We call it a possessive adjective. Sa, ta, ma. Let's take the next recording and have more examples.
Exercice 2. 1.
La grande armoire.
La grande armoire.
2.
La grande armée.
La grande armée.
3.
La grande avenue.
La grande avenue.
4.
La grande aventure.
La grande aventure. Now, you see for this one, we have the on, we have the a, we have the on. A-N, 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 A-N in this context. Whereas for the previous one, chambre is A-M. So we have quite a lot of to do by mastery those specific graphy that gives you the phoneme. Now let's have the lecture together. We have for the lecture le petit cheval dans en, yeah, en la mauvais ton en qu'il avait donc du courage. C'était un petit cheval blanc en again, tout derrière et lui devant en. So these are examples of ways you can see the phoneme in temps. You see it in, of course, in devant. It's a blanc. So these are where you have that particular on as a phoneme. So technically speaking, we have looked at two of the nasal sounds thus far, and they're very important. We are going to be going to the third nasal sound. And this third nasal sound, it also have a look alike with the oral vowel. So we have O as a phoneme, O earlier. We want to look at the nasal aspect that is very close to it and see how it works. So let's share the screen once again so you have a visual of what we're dealing with, and then we can now run together with the explanations that are necessary. So let's go. So we have the example there. Before we continue, let's play the recording because it's important we do that now. So we want to play the recording and then see how far we can actually run with this. Let's look at number one recording and let's see how it goes. Let's have this now.
Dans 26. Beau, bon. Exercice 1. 1,
Ils sont beaux.
Ils sont beaux.
2,
Deux.
Ils sont chauds.
Ils sont chauds.
3,
Ils sont gros.
Ils sont gros. We'll come back to that, but let's listen to it again to get the sound. Just pay attention to the first two pronunciations, which are very important. Let's have it right now.
Sont beaux.
2. Dans 26.
Okay.
Beau, bon.
O,
Exercice 1. 1,
Ils sont beaux.
So you have O, O, bon, O, bon, bon. So those are the two phonemes we are dealing with right now. So let's look at how that sound is realized. Of course, air passes through the nursery and the mouth, and it's realized like the other O, which is arrondi and fermé as well. But here we have just letter O and letter M that give you the phoneme. Example, you have mon, ombre, non. Mon, ombre, non. These are the examples. Let's continue with the recording. We have number one already. Let's finish it up now.
bon. Exercice 1.
Okay.
1,
Ils sont beaux.
2,
Ils sont chauds.
3,
Ils sont gros.
4,
Ils sont faux.
Now, from these four sentences, we have the son as for the verb, the convo, the nasal. Whereas for the EAU, AUDs, OS, AUX, we have O. So that's the distinction between two of them. One of them is nasal, one of them is oral. To know the difference, you can just close your nose and try to pronounce the word. Ils sont beaux. You see, the sound did not come out very well, but the bow came out because bow is oral. So these are simple tests you can do to be very clear on the particular phoneme. Let's take another example. Another example of these for this particular sound. Let's see another recording, which I believe should be very, very interesting. Let's have it together now.
Exercice 3.
Number 3.
C'est bon, sauf au 11e étage.
C'est bon, sauf au 11e étage.
2,
C'est bon, sauf à 11 heures.
C'est bon, sauf à 11 heures.
3,
C'est bon, sauf le 11 octobre.
C'est bon, sauf le 11 octobre.
4,
C'est bon, sauf dans le 11e arrondissement.
C'est bon, sauf dans le 11e arrondissement. So, as you can see, the we have seen OM already used in that context. So, master this graphy And trust me, you are going to be fine. So, on vient d'aborder le troisième voyelle nasal en français et c'est important d'entamer le quatrième. Now we're coming to the fourth. When we're done with the fourth, we will now try and do a comparison between these nasal vowels and see how it works before we bring this particular video to an end. Let's come to the fourth phoneme, the nasal phoneme. Now, what is this phoneme all about? What is closest to this particular phoneme? Now, we're going to go back to the articles, indefinite articles, to understand this phoneme. So we have un, we have un. So let's take it together. I'm going to play the audio one more time. Then I'll also share the screen first of all, as usual. So you have access to the visual. Now we're going to take the audio now and try to marry it up with what we have exactly. So let's have the audio. Just listen to it.
Leçon 27. Une, un.
Exercice 1. 1.
Une fille, un garçon.
So what you have there is un, un. Yun, un. People will say on. No, it's un. Yun, un. Now that is a nasal vowel, nasal sound. Yun is oral. We have dealt with yun in the last video. Let's look at it in details now and explain. Well, look at yun. I'll talk about un. The long en avant is a front vowel. Les passe par la bouche et par le nez. That means the nasal arrondi, presque ouverte as well. But here is the issue. How do we realize that? UN and UM. Mind you, for you to have all these nasals put together, another vowel must not come after the M or N. When you have another vowel come after it, like for example, INI, TIAL, it cannot be initiation, with initiation. Any other vowel that comes after them, we denasalize the vowel sound. So take note of it. We have brun, we have parfum. Brun, parfum. So that is the sound un in this context. Let's finish the audio. We'll take number one here, and then we'll come, okay, I will take this one this time. We have not been taking that particular section. Then I will read the lecture before we go to the comparisons. So let's have this, the very, very first one. We already have the recording set. So let's go with that one now.
7. Une, un.
Okay.
Exercice 1. 1.
Une fille, un garçon.
Un garçon.
2.
Une jeune femme, un jeune homme.
Une jeune femme, un jeune homme. A young woman, a young man.
3.
Une dame,
Un monsieur.
un monsieur.
4.
Une compagne, un compagnon.
That's correct.
5.
Une copine, un copain.
Thus far, the decision is clear for un and an with our indefinite article, which we have done in our grammar classes. If you want to know more about that, if you are new here, please go to our Grammar 2.0. It's a playlist in the channel, and you have quite a lot of things to deal with that. Let's come to this one. This aveu. Let's see how we can deal with that. So for the aveu, we will be looking at it now. Still small, just to get more on these explanations, on these vowels, on these nasal sounds. So let's have it.
Tu voudrais une brioche?
J'en voudrais pour.
Let's begin from scratch.
Exemple. Tu voudrais une brioche?
J'en voudrais bien une.
1. Tu mangerais une glace?
Une glace.
J'en mangerais bien une.
Une glace.
2. Tu choisirais une pâtisserie?
Une. Two. For une.
J'en choisirais bien une.
Mhm.
3. Tu commanderais une tarte?
Tu commanderais une tarte?
J'en commanderais bien une.
4. Tu boirais une bière?
Tu boiras une bière? Tu boirais une bière?
J'en boirais bien une.
Tu boirais une. So in all these examples, you see that the une is very clear and the un has been so explicit. Look at this few statements. Un arrondissement, c'est immense. On risque de s'y perdre. C'est une ville en miniature de la grande. So you want to go back and look at the grapheme, master the combination of letters. They will help you to pronounce properly in French. Thus far, we have seen, as it stands, all the vowels in French, but the oral vowels and the nasal vowels. Now, for the nasal vowels, we're just going to run through it again by doing some little bit of comparison. So we're going to just play one or two recordings to look at there, just one examples. Let's take the very first one and see their difference. We have compared them with oral vowels. I want to compare the nasal vowels amongst themselves. This is what we want to do now so that we can actually strike the difference. It's important to do that. In this particular chapter, we have un, we have un, cinq, cent, cinq cents. Let's read it together now. I will play the recording and then we'll just go with the flow.
5, 100.
Cinq cents.
Exercice 1.
Let's go down.
1,
5.
Cinq,
15.
15,
20.
20, not 20, 20,
25.
25,
2,
30.
30,
40.
40,
60.
60,
100.
100,
3,
5000.
5000,
100 000.
100,000. So from the numbering section, what we have here is numbering in French, simple numbering. You're going to find that this un and un, cinq, 15, 20, 25, 30, un. They are very important. So let's note them. Let's look at them very well. Very, very important. We have November, December, Janvier, Juin for this particular ones here. But let's take number two before we go. I think the distinction between un and on, do nasal vowels. Let's have the next recording. We're looking at number two to clear every doubt you still have left in trying to master their pronunciation.
Exercice 2. 1,
Il est impatient.
Il est impatient.
2,
Il est important.
Il est important.
3,
Il est imprudent.
Il est imprudent.
4,
Il est inquiétant.
Il est inquiétant. You find that for these simple sentences, they actually combine both. Take number two. Il est important. IM is un, whereas AN give you what? Un. Important. Inquiétant. Imprudent. So these are very, very vital examples. You can look them up. You can get more and grow. When you're transcribing as a student, when you're trying to pronounce words, please take note of all. Take note of all these. I want to share it. I want to play that again. You didn't see it, so I want to play it again, and then we'll see the phoneme. So let's take it now. one more time. I want to go back to this chapter. So we are looking at the first one more time now. Please pay attention and let's have it now.
5, 100.
500. Okay, let's go to
Exercice
the example.
1,
5,
5,
15,
15,
20,
20,
25,
25,
2,
30,
30,
40,
40,
60,
60,
100,
100,
3,
5000,
5000,
100 000.
100,000. So you've just seen it again, the examples, just to strengthen. Let's take number 2 one more time.
Exercice 2. 1,
Il est impatient.
Il est impatient.
2,
1.
Il est important.
Il est important. OK?
3,
Il est imprudent.
Il est imprudent.
4,
Il est inquiétant.
Il est inquiétant. These are vivid examples of the distinction. So we have seen thus far the distinction between the oral and nasal. Now we're not distinguishing between the nasals themselves. So we have seen un and on. Let's see and on right now before we touch one more differences and then we'll call it a day for this video. And I trust you've learned quite a lot already. So let's have the next one now, which is a bit very, very interesting as well. The decisions are very clear. We have seen the differences, but let's just take them and see how they go. So listen to the audio one more time, and let's have it now.
Leçon 29. Long, lent.
We'll take it again, but I want to see the visual. So let's have the screen shared now so you can see it as we have it now.
Exercice 1. 1,
On mange.
Let's
2,
begin from
29. Long, lent.
long,
Exercice
long.
1. 1,
On mange.
2,
On danse.
Okay?
3,
On range.
Orange.
4,
On pense.
Pense. You see the distinction between two of them, and on. So the last one, I want to combine all three that we have done. We're going to combine all three nasals, and then we'll look at the distinction between them before we end this particular video on nasals. But please do well to go back and check the graphy. It's important. Know those graphy, those combination of letters. When you have that, you'll be able to actually do justice to it and have a fun field day with this particular study. It's important to do that. So let's have the screen shared once again, and then we'll take the audio to see the pronunciation and see how far we can go with this. So let's have that now. So, okay, let's go.
1, grand, rond.
Un.
Exercice 1.
Okay.
1,
Un grand rond.
Un grand rond.
2,
Un grand nom.
Un grand nom.
3,
Un grand pont.
Un grand pont.
4,
Un grand front.
Un grand front. Un grand front. So from the audio so far, you see that each of the nasals, they might sound close, but are different, as ideally. They're very much different. And to master them, you have to go back to them. So on this note, I want to really appreciate your courage and tenacity. Staying to the end of this video is not really easy. Flow Hub Flow Up community, we really appreciate you. Please subscribe to the channel, share with your friends, those that want to jackpot, whatever they want to do. You want to have French knowledge, you are jackpotting or you are jackpata, whatever you want to call it, as have it in Nigeria, or you just want to get French for the flair of having it, you just want to learn something new about it. This is your channel. We have a lot for our phonetics, we have a lot for our grammar, we have quite a lot that will help you in your journey. For this video, I've come to the end. In our next video, we're going to begin what we call the consonants in French. There are 18 of them. We'll touch on all of them. We're going to begin number one from dealing with what we call les consonnes occlusives. We'll spend a whole video on that. Then we'll come to consonnes fricatives. And we'll come to what we call the consonnes sonates. Those are the three categories. Then after that, we're now going to come to semi-voyelle and semi-consonant. So there are basically four more videos on this phonetics. You have all of them. It's a total package of 7 videos. That's perfection. Your phonetics is going to be great. Mais jusqu'à la prochaine, je m'excuser. À la prochaine. Je vous souhaite bonne journée, bon week-end, bon mois, bonne tous, bon n'importe quelle chose. Pour le moment, au revoir. On se verra à la semaine prochaine dans notre deuxième vidéo. On va se voir. Au revoir.